Hello everyone, so this is going to be a review on this Sv650. Don't ask why I'm not wearing a jacket today, it's too hot. But yeah, so I've had it since January, so I've had it about 6 months now, and I had it on 35,000 miles, and then now obviously I've done about 3,000 miles in it. So quite a lot of miles, actually maybe 2,000 or something like that. But obviously, see how many miles it's done, 38,000, that's quite a lot. A bike would probably do around 80,000 obviously if you're taking care of it and stuff, but 38,000, so that's quite a lot. But obviously there's like nothing wrong in terms of power or anything. Brakes on it, let me show you the brakes. The brakes are there's 2 brakes on the front. There's both pretty good at stopping, and then there's one on the back, obviously just one on the back. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, obviously it doesn't have ABS, so that's kind of obviously not a good thing, but other than that, I think it looks really good. Some people would, like my friend was telling me to get the full fairing for this. So the fairing comes from about here and just covers all this bit down here, but to be honest with you, I think just looking at it like it is now, it looks fine. It looks like a proper race bike. Obviously it's not 600, but it does pull really quick. First gear and second gear, it's just crazy on this, and it is restricted, but I don't really, because I did ride it unrestricted for a little bit, but I didn't notice any difference whatsoever. Fuel tank 15 litres. I do about, normally I reset the trip. When I reset the trip, I get about 100 miles out of it. So it's, and I normally do, and it basically when you do about 10 litres, it wants you to, the fuel light will come on, so you have another 5 litres left of fuel. But it's pretty good on fuel, to be honest. Say about 50 miles a gallon. Now the small little detail which I like about this bike, obviously I've got a tail tidy. Definitely get a tail tidy on this bike, because the back end, it comes out to about here, and it just covers the rear tyre and makes it looks ugly. And I've got LED, LED indicators only about £10. That's like that's an important thing to get. Like, it really does make the bike look a lot better, especially when you look at these lights, like the back brake lights. I think they look really nice, and like one of my friends said also, like, probably one of the best lights, rear lights on a motorbike, in my opinion. Now, I didn't put the black thing on this at the front, but in my opinion, it looks really nice. Also, the little V sign here looks really nice. The Suzuki little emblem here, that looks really good as well. I prefer it over the writing, but obviously it feels like a sports bike, and they had Suzuki down there. That makes it look really nice as well. There's gold chain in here. This rear hugger was put on by the last guy, and crash protection, which is really good. Gear lever, this is obviously a custom one. I put it on myself. Looks really nice. Tank pad, and obviously this little Suzuki emblem here makes it look really nice. And mirrors, definitely good, really good mirrors. They're quite, obviously you can tuck it in when you're filtering or something. And the tank here, it feels really big. If you look down on it, you'll think you're on like a 600 or 1000cc. Obviously it's not as curved and as aerodynamic as obviously more expensive bikes, but it still looks pretty good. Now the revs on this go up to 12,000, and to be honest, most of the power is about, I'd say, 3,000 to 5,000. That's where you get most of the power out of this bike. But to be honest, it's pretty linear, all the power throughout the whole thing. Temperature of the water, pretty good. Time, obviously miles per hour, how fast you're going. So let's take it for a ride, and I'll tell you what this bike is about. So we're in first gear right now, and you can hear it kind of want to change gear, but you could take it easily to 40 miles an hour. Obviously that's putting stress on the engine, but if you wanted to really accelerate quick, you can do that. And the V-twin sound, when you open this thing up, it's really deep. Comparing to like an inline 4, it's really light, I guess you could say, or high-pitched, or more high-pitched obviously. This is more deep. Like, there you go, pretty deep. So, what gear are we in? Third gear, I think? Alright, so this is second gear, 30 miles an hour. And I'll show you how it picks up. Ruining the fun. Alright, so first gear, I'll show you some acceleration on this. It's pretty good. That was only second gear, I think. And now into the corners, it's pretty good as well. It's stable. Definitely love this bike for the corners. It's so stable and it makes you feel so confident. Alright, now longevity of the bike. You can see this one's on 38,000 miles, and Suzuki are known for having pretty solid engines. Obviously this is V-twin. The only risk you have with this bike, okay, don't nod at me, bitch. The only risk you have with this bike, if you're getting it second hand like I did, is that the guy was wheeling it all the time. And well, wheelies aren't that bad for this bike, as long as it's not like 12 o'clock prolonged wheelies, because it's a V-twin, so it will starve one of the cylinders oil, I believe. So you want to watch out for that. This tank here, again, the tank and your legs, if you look at my legs, they're pretty like bent over. So, well, not bent over, but like kind of bent, you know, on a sports bike. And it makes it look really aggressive. Obviously it's not super aggressive, but it still looks really aggressive. And the front end of this bike, obviously it's got two headlamps. They've done a really good job of making it kind of looks like an R6 in a little tiny bit of a way, but obviously it's unique. And the half third, yeah, I think it goes good with this bike. And power on this bike, it's right there. It's got more than enough power than you would need. The clutch on this is quite heavy in my opinion. Like, it will really hurt your hand, and you can find yourself stalling it just because you're wanting to let your hand go a little bit. And what will happen is, obviously, you're going to stall it. So it's a little bit of finger work on this one. Also, this tank is high enough so you can tuck down underneath. Obviously, I have a black screen, so it doesn't make tucking down as viable as it should be. But it still does. When you do it, it feels sick. Let me show you how this picks up speed. Second gear. So as you can see, motorway speeds, it's really comfortable, and joining the dual carriageway or motorway, it's really easy on this. But yeah, brilliant bike for a motorway or a dual carriageway. It's something which can easily handle it, and the miles per gallon doing 70 miles an hour is still pretty good. So I think I'll wrap this review up. Overall, if you want a bike which can do pretty much everything, and pretty cheap to run, cheap insurance, tax. One thing about the tax, actually, it does get classed because it's a 650, so it gets classed in the 600 to 1000 cc, so I think it's about 70 quid a year. But anyways, that's this review. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.